Good morning, and welcome to Walk Before You Run. I was studying this morning, and the Spirit told me to go to Psalm 31. Thought I was reading Psalm 31, but I was reading Psalm 30. So I'm going to read both Psalm 30 and Psalm 31. In both Psalms, I'm going to read verses 1 through 3. And in Psalm 30, verse 1 says, I will extol thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up and has not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down to the pit. And pit means to the grave. Then I looked at where God was telling me to go, and that's chapter 31. And it reads in verse 1, In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down thine ear to me. Deliver me speedily. Be thou my strong rock for a house of defense to save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for thy name's sake, lead me and guide me. Um, Verse 4 says, Pull me out of the net that they have laid privily for me, for thou art my strength. And when I was looking at that, I thought about, you know, what he said in chapter 30, what David said in chapter 30, well, in Psalm 30. He said, My foes are not rejoicing over me. God doesn't even allow them. And this is what he put in my spirit, because sometimes um, I'm my worst critic. And so God shared with me, he said, My foes are not rejoicing over me. God doesn't even allow them the knowledge of my discretions to laugh or rejoice, and the knowledge of my sins that he has allowed them to know. It's only knowledge that humbles them in their sins. So sometimes we are so afraid of being transparent. Sometimes we're so afraid of people knowing our past transgressions, our past sins, that it um, hinders us from moving forward. It hinders us from doing what God would have us to do. It hinders us from living in Him out loud. And that's exactly what Satan wants to do. He wants to remind us of our past so that it will stifle the growth in us. It will stifle the forward progress, that others can see the handiwork of God. And so that's what God was reminding me this morning in my devotion. And, I'm not the only one that does this. I'm the one that's pounding on me. And most of the time, people don't even care. They don't care what you've done in the past. They care what they can see right now. They care about you showing them what God can do in your life. And so I was thinking about that. And I wrote down, I'm the only one pounding me about my past transgressions. I was once dead in sin, but now I am risen with Christ. Hallelujah. What a blessing it is to move from death to life. And that's what we do when we step out of the sin that we're in, and we start walking in the light of Christ. And we start walking in that path that He has lit up for us to follow in. And I wrote, In God I must put my trust, for He will never put me to shame. He delivered and delivers me. in his righteousness, because I have none on my own. I don't have any righteousness of my own. And any righteousness I have, it is the righteousness of Christ that's shining through me. Um, I also wrote, God listens to me. He bows his head down to my voice that I may speak to him. And isn't that a blessing? You know, the Psalm 31 gave me such a lift this morning. Sometimes we can be down for whatever the situation is. It could be a health issue, it could be a walking outside of God issue. It can be a loved one issue. It could be a job, a financial, it could be any issue. But he has a way of lifting our countenance. He has a way of lifting us up, lifting our spirits, if we just listen to him, because he has bowed his head down so that his ear will be close to us, so that we can tell him the issues of our heart. And if he did not care, he would not bow his ear down so that we could speak to him. And I love him for that. He bows his head down to my voice that I may speak to him. He delivers me even from myself. Sometimes, like I said earlier, we are our worst critics, you know, the person who pounds on us the most. And he will deliver us even from ourselves. He would deliver us from some wrong choices. Sometimes we are thinking about going left, and God, in an instance, tells us, no, baby, go right. Left is not good. Go right. And if we listen to that still small voice, then we will be saved from a world of trouble. I wrote that he is the strength I stand on and I move forward with. He defends me, protects me, and saves me. I'm led by the mere mention of his name. I hope that gives you a jolt to walk on, to live in peace, and to have hope that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you've done in the past, that God is standing near, waiting for you to say, Father, will you listen to me? Father, will you forgive me? Father, will you strengthen me? And Father, will you take me forward? I'll see you next time. Um, Always remember that He's a just God, but He's a loving Father. And just walk in his way. Just walk in his word before you get out in the world and get carried away by the swift currents of this world and the things that are going on. And just trust, believe, and move in him. I'll see you next time. And always remember that you are blessed. We are blessed. So we can be a blessing to someone else. I'll see you next time.